So now let's do the third exercise. So installation is done, build an image is done. So now let's do the provision. Let's add provision to the template. Okay, so for that we'll create a new directory here. So I'm here, so I'll just copy this exactly, rename it exercise 3 provision, and then open it, close this, open VS Code here. So I want to add a provision. I want to add the provisioner to this one. So for us, using provisioner allows you to completely automate modifications to your image. You can use shell scripts, file uploads, and integrations with modern configuration management tools such as Chef or Puppet. To write your first provisioner, you use a provisioner block, and then you can mention the provisioner name inside the first label, and then you have to add your environment variable, and then so the way you want to run, you want to attach your commands. So that's how it works. So let's the block. So now let's add our first provisioner inside the image. Okay, so for that we are going to add exactly below the, so name, here it is, provisioner, where I want to add its build, inside the build. So I have name, and then below the name I have the resources, I have the sources, and exactly below the source here I'm going to add my provisioner. So provisioner, and then label I want to give it shell, and then curly braces, and environment vars, and then a list of items. So it's foo equals, we're defining the variable foo equals to hello world. Then we will attach one more block in this provisioner, that is inline block, and a list of items or arguments. So echo, what do you want to echo it? Adding file to Docker container. What is that file? How do you do that? Again, echo backward slash, and then foo is, we have defined that environment variable, that's foo, we have defined that variable. So foo means hello world. So then, so after that I'll say, and after this I want to redirect the output of this variable to the example dot txt. Yes, it's done. So this is the file. I just want to go through that, the piece of module, the provisioner module that I have added one more time. So what it does is, this block defines a shell provisioner which sets an environment variable named foo in the shell execution environment and runs the commands in the inline attribute. So this provisioner will create a file named example.txt that contains the foo is foo is hello world. So now it's time to before we execute it, before we build it, we'll get into our directory, and then we'll open it in git bash. I will do again one more time. It's packer init and then dot expected comma to the mark at the beginning of next item. Okay, somewhere uh, there is a mistake in this. Which line is that? Invalid multi-line syntax. Okay, I got it. So 26, 27. So at this part there is a mistake. Let me cross check it. Vim cat and then it is ls cat docker. Okay, got it. So the problem is we here with some indentation and then commas. So I have cleared it off. I have cleaned that. So now let me do packer init. Yes, it's done. There is no issue now. The problem was with the indentation at this line 21, the line number 21, that and then one more issue is I missed this comma. So these are the two issues we have faced there. So then I will do packer format one more time for this. Okay, there is a packer format is required. That formatting has been done. Then I will do packer validate. So the configuration is valid. Fantastic. So now it's time to build our image. For that, I'll clear the screen first. Packer build. So I'll directly say dot. So everything fine. So I hope it should build it with the provisioner. Yes, the same amount of actions are taking place and the same type of actions are taking place as we have seen before with the previous exercise, the exercise number 2, that's building image without provisioner. So now we are building image with provisioner and we'll see. So download complete. So now we are waiting for the pull complete. Once pull is complete, okay, pull is complete, and then the image has been brought and container has been brought, it's been built and it's been killed, and then the build's finished. So the artifacts of successful builds are here. So it's imported docker image is this, and I'm waiting for the container actually. Okay, docker images, you got the two images again. It's ubuntu. So it's, let's verify the image by running it with a docker. So we have seen that it's running. So now let's try to build, let's try to run the container. So docker run, and then I'll say I, which is interactive. Okay, I'll go with the interactive, but here it's a Windows. Do I need to use T? So without that terminal it's impossible. So because I'm going for the interactive, I'll just say normal one. So docker in detached mode. Then but if it is in detached mode we cannot see that. That's the, okay, let's run it and see. And this is the image ID that we are going to, because we want to use the base image, it's a supporting image, and then I'll run it here. Let's run the container now. Yes, container has been built. Fantastic. So now let me check docker ps. So there is no container. Docker psa. Yes, the container has been built, and this is what the command it has run, and after that it was dead, it was exited within 0 seconds. So let me get into the docker desktop and see. Okay, two images were built, you can see that. And then let me go to the container. So one container which has been up and then it has been killed. Let me start the container and see what it's going to do. Again, it has started and it got exited. Okay, so now this time I'm going to, let me check docker images. You have two images. I'll say docker run again, docker run, but this time it, this is a Linux terminal, but still I'll use it and we'll see. And then I'll run this, copy and then paste it and run it. Okay, we got an error. The input device is not a TTY. If you are using min TTY, try prefixing the command with the win PTY. Okay, let's do with prefixing I and then double option win PTY. Okay, unknown flag docker run help. I just want to bring that. See, we have TTY. This is double option allocate a sudo TTY and U limit. Okay, we do not have another option. That's it. There is nothing. Uh, okay, but still win PTY. It's saying. Let me try one more time and see. Okay, it's Docker error response from daemon. The working directory in PTY is invalid. It needs to be an absolute path. Okay, I have to give the that's Windows terminal actual path I have to give to run it interactive. Anyway, so in there without I don't want to run it interactive because I do not have the terminal because it's a Windows. So now again I will run it in a detached mode and I will see that response at this part. Okay, sorry, not here. In Docker you can see one more container has been built. You can see that I have entered into the layer. So these are the layers that I have mentioned in that command bin bash. It's the image layer and it got exited. So I'll run it one more time and it comes and then it runs and it will die. So that's how we have built it. Okay, so if you want we can docker exec, but for that also we require a terminal, so it's not possible. Okay, anyway the task has been completed with this. So we are able to we were able to use a provisioner and using that we are able to run a container also. So initially we have built an image and then we have attached a provisioner and then we have run some commands, but we are unable to see because of lack of terminal. Because I am doing this in Windows, if I would have done this in if I had done this in Linux, it would have been easier to show that two commands that we have mentioned, that say hello, the foo is hello world, and then the printing it, directing that into the text file. So with this we have done with the exercise 3 also.